guys, welcome to How to Housewife. Today we are going to be making an amazing chocolate mud cake. This particular one is for a special occasion. It's to mark my 100 subscribers. So we're going to be making a YouTube button chocolate mud cake. I'm sure it'll be more tasty than that sounded. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is melt 250 grams of butter over a low heat. Then we're going to add 200 grams of dark chocolate and get that all melted into the butter. So if you've seen my stovetop brownies video, you'll notice that the method of cooking this cake is very similar to the way we do the chocolate brownies. So if you've made them, you're one step ahead. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, now is the perfect time to have a think about whether or not you would like to while this chocolate is melting. If so, just make sure you hit the red subscribe button and the notifications bell so you don't miss anything coming up. Add 1/4 cup of cocoa powder and stir to dissolve in. So that's coming together really nicely. We're going to add in 2 cups of white sugar or caster sugar, and I'm going to add some hot water in to help this all dissolve. So not boiling, but pretty warm. I've got 1.5 cups of very warm water. Add in a few glugs of vanilla essence, and then we are going to turn off the heat and mix that through. And now is the perfect time to be preheating your oven to 160 degrees Celsius because we're going to let this mixture cool for about 20 minutes and then add the flour. So the mixture is now warm to touch, so we can add in the flour and the eggs without scrambling any eggs. So we're going to start by adding in 1.5 cups of self-raising flour, and I'm just sifting it through. And then we will add in 2 lightly beaten eggs. So if you saw my brownie video, you would have realized that we didn't actually lightly beat the eggs. I just kind of threw them in and mixed it around. I got some feedback where someone actually asked, is there a reason you didn't lightly beat the eggs first? And I thought, well, there's no reason why you couldn't. So we're going to do that today. It probably makes it a little bit easier to mix it through. So if you're making the brownie recipe, you could certainly do it for that one too. So we'll give that a good stir, and then that's ready to go in the oven. So we're going to pop that in the oven at 160 degrees Celsius for about 70 minutes, so just over an hour, but keep checking it, remembering it should be moist and fudgy still. And here is our final product, all cooled and ready to be iced and decorated. So we are going to put in, I've just made up a little bit of buttercream icing. I haven't actually filmed it for you guys, but if you do want a tutorial on making the icing, just let me know, drop me a comment, and I will do that. So we're just putting a little bit on to keep it nice and smooth under the fondant and help the fondant stick to the cake. And then we're going to roll out some fondant, which is always messy and fun. So I'm just going through and making sure that any gaps are filled with icing so that I should get a nice square cake. So similar to the graduation cake, we are using ready to roll icing. If you guys want me to make like a marshmallow fondant and do a video on how to make your own marshmallow fondant and how to color your own marshmallow fondant, let me know and I can certainly do one of those. But for these ones, they're a couple of dollars from Coles, and I find it nice, easy and cheap to do them. So once it's looking close to the size you want, grab the cake and just do a quick check to see if it's going to fully cover it. You want lots of excess around so that you've got room to maneuver, especially the corners. And then we are just going to roll it over the pin, lift it up, and pop it nicely on the cake there. Try and get it nice in the center, like so. There we go. And Remember, don't cut the trim yet. This is when you want to manipulate, especially the corners being a square cake. Otherwise you will end up with wrinkles and folds in it. So I'm just lifting up the cake for the camera, and I'm going to zoom in here so you can see how I'm doing the corners. And it's just a matter of any of the excess fold getting pushed out to the end and making sure that that corner is nice and smooth. So do that for all 4 corners and the sides as much as possible, and just smooth it all out. If you are still with me while I am cutting this excess off, please leave a comment and tell me how much you love chocolate. Otherwise you might be disappointed with a few things I do, because I do like to cook with chocolate. So now we've got the red of the YouTube button. We're going to really quickly roll this out. It just needs to be a small square. I've gotten a container to make the square. I've sized that up with the white cake, and it looks pretty much the size of the YouTube button I'm going for. Now I've made a bit of a error in judgment here. Not really a mistake, but I didn't do this the best possible way. What I should have done is put the pastry mat in the fridge with the red fondant on it, because when this fondant is warm, it is very pliable, and having it in the fridge cold would have stiffened it and made it very easy to transport without it moving at all, and I would have had that beautiful square. So next time I would do that. I've just gotten a wet paper towel and damped the fondant to get any loose icing off of, so it's very shiny, but that will dry. And we're cutting out our little play button. Once again, this is where you could put the pastry mat in the fridge, get that fondant nice and stiff so it doesn't move, but I make it work. This is just a cake for my family to enjoy and my friends. It wasn't really a professional one by any means. It's just a bit of fun. I thought you guys would like it, so I'm not too concerned about getting it absolutely perfect. And I do think a lot of wives and mums making birthday cakes put a lot of pressure on themselves too. Remember, it's supposed to be fun. That's why we do it. It's just going to get eaten anyway, so have a bit of fun with it. Don't be too hard on yourselves. There we go, one YouTube button cake all done and dusted. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button.